You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World, starring Anthony Mackie as Captain America and Harrison Ford as President Ross. Don't miss the explosive return of Captain America as Sam Wilson uncovers a mysterious plot that threatens to destabilize the globe and confront an enemy that has the entire world seeing red. Enter a brave new world in IMAX and 3D this Friday. Get tickets now.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Do you know how giant a sports day has to be for it to just sort of swallow, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be a Jet anymore, and Debo has asked for a trade out of San Francisco? Like, the news just shrinks in the face of what this giant American celebration is that has everybody feeling a touch hungover today. It is weird, and honestly, it is where sports does a pretty good job of connecting people, even if they're divided. The idea that America still gathers around the television for a thing, and that thing meets expectations which are giant, meets giant expectations, even if the game's not any good. The game isn't exactly incidental because of the importance of crowning a champion in that particular sport, but seeing what it is that America does in terms of celebrating the punctuation on a game it associates with more than any of the others, and having in the middle of it, because they did take out of the end zone. I won't forget this part as everything changes in America over the last 4 years, and you've seen the backlash and the blacklash to everything that happened post-George Floyd, including all of these giant corporations running away, hiding, scared of the President of the United States. To see Kendrick Lamar as the halftime show when you know some of this story, right? Jay-Z feels like he was purchased during this to be the halftime entertainment, and a lot of people were critical of a lot of different things that didn't change about football when Jay-Z was put in charge of that show. And now,
wait, you're going to have to clarify the purchase thing. Like, he is a partner of the NFL.
No, I'm saying that Jay-Z got a lot of criticism for going in and doing business at that particular time, and it could look like he was being used, whether he knew it or not, in order to be a halftime symbol for here. We're going to give actual power to people, and over the halftime show, you will see that power displayed by Jay-Z with the artists that he chooses.
Yeah, but without Jay-Z making that deal, you wouldn't have had Kendrick yesterday. And you wouldn't have had the halftime show in L.A. a couple years ago. You wouldn't have had Rihanna a couple years ago.
Would we have had Maroon 5?
Probably, yeah. We would have had Maroon 5, more than likely.
I think you're assuming that I'm entering this critically. I am not. The halftime show as a celebration becomes a success story in the middle of the commerce of it. I don't believe Kendrick is paid for that. I believe this is such a uniquely American giant thing that I believe all the artists get is a production budget. And what Kendrick Lamar did with that production budget was put together an amazing show, but also in the middle of the celebration.
Bought a lot of carpet, I can tell that.
A spectacularly black show as well. like in the middle of the halftime celebration, where it is that the seismic moment in the middle of it is you're waiting to see whether this Grammy-winning artist who's won the rap beef for all time in making Drake the biggest loser there's ever been in a rap beef, in the middle of it, he's got Serena Williams crip walking. When Serena Williams' greatest controversy during her career was celebrating at the Tennis Country Club with that dance, her being from Compton, and all of us recognizing Serena because of the tennis skirt. You couldn't even see her face. It happened so fast. It happened so fast. To have that in the middle of the Super Bowl celebration, Billy, you assume I came here to criticize. No, that's an evolution of the halftime show that doesn't quite end racism in the end zone the way that they took it out with the stencils. But you can at least feel good about the entertainment because I think everybody was applauding everything that the artist Kendrick Lamar is, correct? Like, because he is a real artist. Like, J. Cole was wise to step away from everything that was happening there. Kendrick Lamar has been a lyricist and an artist and stands for something. Like, is not neutral, is not benign. That's a really cool halftime moment to have where it meets the expectations and is wrapped in Apple Plus, and you see this giant thing coming to life.
How much does Serena Williams hate Drake? Yeah. And like Drake, like all of this, kind of played himself with it, but like, there is a cultural significance of Serena Williams, who lost his sister to a drive-by in Compton, doing the crip walk at the Super Bowl halftime show to get one over on Drake. I mean,
because they dated.
Yeah, and like he kind of mentioned her in a song, but I don't think there was a single. It was. Correct me if I'm wrong. The entire cast of that halftime performance was African American.
Oh, I don't know, but is that right?
I believe so.
It may have been, but I
know there were a lot of people looking for a white. I mean, this one, the division when it came to this one, it was all too predictable. Went down party lines. I thought it wasn't exactly subtle. I mean, when you have an American flag that is comprised of guys who are dancing as Crips and Bloods forming together, all black individuals forming an American flag. Like, you're not exactly going for subtlety. Hell, Sam Jackson was Uncle Sam. And so I understand why people who aren't ideologically, politically aligned feel threatened, and that is where the problem is that this isn't overtly political. They're not making you feel less than. Their appearance is just making you feel uncomfortable. You're telling on yourself. All
right, let's examine this part, though, right? Because the news is happening fast, and things are getting normalized, and things are being tested through the Constitution is being tested through acts that are unconstitutional, and we'll see what happens with the courts as in the first couple of weeks of America being in this new state, invite a president that appears to have been bought as a puppet by Elon Musk to stay out of prison, lords over the entertainment, booing Taylor Swift because the American president is now in power, lording over all of this, and is welcome here because he's not only stayed out of prison successfully, he's now climbed to the top of the food chain on power. And Bezos and Musk and all of these people, and the NFL bowed before him once. They respect the power. They have the power. They're using the power because it seems like the office is now just dismantling government, where we're in a situation over the last 14 days where I'm watching, just buried in the news stream. Wait a minute, really? We're doing camps in Guantanamo? Lawless camps? We're like, America's good with that, and it's just one of 10 items.
They've spoken to it. Like, see, Bannon, I think, spoke to the Wall Street Journal, flooding the zone. There's just so much that you can't seize on one thing because everything is happening all at once.
But strategically, okay, to have as the 10th item, and I understand, like, once you've gotten to the point where the rhetoric is, well, we'll just turn Gaza into the Riviera. That's how we'll solve it. We'll displace those people. Like, once that's the conversation this early, and people want to celebrate the excess and the gluttony, and they want to get lost in sports. And don't tell me about Kaepernick, and don't tell me about end racism. Wasn't that a fun halftime show? It was so artistic in the middle of that. It was so much more peaceful than the ways we did it when at the beginning of this run in Kansas City, the players held hands 4 years ago, and we booed unity. Like that stadium was booing the Kansas City Chiefs just holding hands on the idea of unity. The progress through all of that in football gets to the more peaceful time where Patrick Mahomes, people enjoyed watching that lose yesterday. Patrick Mahomes had a real power when he got Goodell to apologize for all the stuff that happened with Kaepernick. But we're in a new age now with new people in power. And you will see the corporations bend to the whims of this man because the NFL has already showed you that they're scared of him. The NFL and its owners align with him politically. And so what you're watching happen in the middle of all this creates a great deal of unrest for me, obviously, to see in the middle of the excess that, yeah, we're going to take a temporary departure from camps. Like, camps is the 10th news item. Like, and we're going to be good with that. So anyway, I'm sorry
I'm trying to follow. I don't know. It was the audio mixing for me and the song selection at the start made it hard to get in. Like when he has the bar at the start, like you picked the right time but the wrong guy. I'm like, all right, what are we getting into? And then we're like, oh, there's a bit of a slow burn and the audio mixing just isn't great.
Where are you with giving me details about Harry Connick Jr. that will either prove or disprove that Chris Cody is either wrong or just spectacularly disrespectful? I don't think he gets to be right here.
Well, it's just I don't. It was a part just for New Orleans. It was a celebration of New Orleans music, and they put out a bunch of luminaries, and Harry Connick Jr. was tickling the ivories and being MC. That makes sense. Anytime I've seen it, like Harry Connick Jr.'s been the face of New Orleans music scene for a very long time at all these award shows. There's been hurricanes that have hit the area, and Harry Connick Jr. has done a lot of great work, and he's usually, when they want to do something super New Orleans that speaks to the city's character and strength, he's one of the first calls that they make.
Folks, did you know that sleep is one of the most important parts of recovery? Whether you're a pro athlete or just looking to crush your day, getting the right kind of rest is key. And that's where Sleep Number Smart Beds comes in. Since 2018, Sleep Number has partnered with the NFL to help elite athletes get quality sleep that they need to perform at their best. In fact, 80% of NFL players sleep on Sleep Number Smart Beds. Tough workout? The Sleep Number Smart Bed can be adjusted to suit your needs. Firmer one night, softer the next, giving you the ultimate recovery boost. And let's talk about those sweaty, sleepless nights. The new Climate Cool Smart Bed adjusts up to 15 degrees cooler on either side with scientifically designed cooling programs to keep you comfortable and undisturbed. Sleep Number Smart Beds don't just help you sleep, they learn how you sleep, providing personalized insights to help you get even better rest. It's like having a sleep coach right in your bedroom. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now, save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Don Le Batard.
Billy, somebody has written in here, I need way more.
I'm sorry.
I just said in his headset, haven't you been to all of them too?
It sounded like you were speaking aloud. My bad. Totally on me. That's 100% on me. All right. Yeah.
Stugotz.
But that goes without saying.
Right.
That it couldn't have happened.
Well, now he said it.
He didn't say it. He said it again.
Yeah, that was just in my head again.
My apologies sincere.
Greg, why? Greg.
Yeah.
Greg.
He apologized. I mean,
Greg.
Sincerely.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Speaking of character and strength, I wanted to play a video for you guys, and I don't know how many of you have seen it or heard anything about this, okay? I have not seen it. I don't know all of the stories of Stugotz on Radio Row. I just know some of them. The words that have gotten back to me, careening. Just careening through the week, just talking to anybody who would talk to him. Everybody's got a microphone in his face, delighted to be interviewed, just humming nonstop. Billy, you can speak to this better than I can because I was not watching him, and I don't know how tired you are from chasing him around. Do you know the video I'm about to play here of Stugotz? The DraftKings, the publicity team, caught up with Stugotz at a casino and was talking to him or caught up with him on Radio Row and was talking to him about slots, and he gave an answer. Do you know this video?
I have not seen this yet.
All right,
no.
let's just react in real time, all of us here, to Stugotz being asked what he would do if he won a giant jackpot on the slots.
I'd like to think of myself as a guy, if I won the jackpot on a slot machine, I'd just be handing out money to everybody. It's just the way I am. If I won $50K, that person's definitely getting $5,000, right? $5,000. So I still net out $45,000. Jackpot.
Yo, chicken time.
Come on. He said I'm that kind of guy. He said it's just the kind of guy I am. I'll give away $5,000.
You're not that kind of guy.
He's full of shit. That's what he is. That's the kind of guy you are.
Who's the person he's giving it to? It's a slot machine.
None of it makes sense.
It's just the guy I am?
Like
Santa Claus of handing out cash? Is that what you assume Stugotz
I had to watch this multiple times because I'm like, is he doing a thing where he's being sarcastic and he's looking at the camera like No. This is like genuine. He's like, it's the kind of guy I am. If I won $50K, I would just start handing out $5,000.
So he's out here handing out $100 bills like MC Hammer, I guess, right?
Or like Joker in Batman '89. Maybe in the last 72 hours, he's completely changed the guy that he is. You considered that?
We can ask him when he shows up.
Well, that kind of feels like the old Stu.
Just the kind of guy I am. I wanted to like scream.
Well, tell me what's happening there.
Lies.
Yeah, but what is he trying? Who's he trying to fool? Like
Taylor.
And it's working.
Forgive me for stammering all over it, but I'm genuinely confused as to what's the play there. Like, is it to make DraftKings think he's a charitable fellow who gives out money by the hundreds? Like, who's the audience he's lying for? Or is it just the pleasure of the lie?
Because I saw another one of these where they asked him about blackjack, where he did his Stugotz thing of, I play how I want, I don't give a shit, where I was like, that's the Stugotz I know. He's playing, like, that's the hits right there, baby. Yeah. And then the next one, he's this, like, earnest, I'd start, you kid, $550K, I would hand it out to anyone who needs it. That's the kind of guy I am. And I'm like, what happened between those two videos? Yeah.
Getting back to Tom Brady's watch, if you guys were being paid like that, would you do it 750,000 strong for a watch?
I mean, all right, so most people that have fancy wristwear, the watch is kind of in line with the salary that they make, and I think you'd be kind of shocked that relative to his net worth, that's what the normal
I understand
Rolex would be.
I understand the fashion choice that's being made there. I've just never been comfortable with the idea of wearing a watch of any kind other than like that thing that you guys made fun of me for the grandfather, the pocket watch I had. But
I love my piece. It meant a lot to me. It signified a mile marker, and people feel certain ways about it.
Your piece?
Yeah, my wrist piece.
Jessica, I do believe that people who are watch aficionados would tell you.
They say peace?
That this is a statement that you're
it's a timepiece.
That you're absolutely, you want to make the statement that's $750,000 on your wrist, whatever that statement is. It's just not something I would ever understand.
I would say relative to the net worth, I'm making a much larger statement.
Talk about Mike's watch is what I think he wants
That's
you to
what
do.
I want to do.
What's your flex?
He wants you to ask about his watch.
You got like a gold popcorn bowl or something?
Here's the reason I bring up the entire thing.
It was an ugly watch.
A gold popcorn bowl, is that what you just said?
Yeah, he won an MTV Movie Award.
The reason that I bring all of it up was to stick my toe in the water here of offering people who cannot be trusted here.
I have a very nice watch.
Of vulnerability.
What percentage of your net worth is it?
Probably more than Tom Brady's.
Wow. So it's more of a statement than Tom's.
I'm making a much larger statement.
Yeah.
Day in and day out.
He wants us to ask him about his piece.
Ask him about his piece.
Yeah, I know he does.
Fluted bezel.
And I'm not going to ask
Jubilee
him.
bracelet, because that's how Ric Flair wore it. Wow. And that's what matters.
Styling and profiling.
Yeah. My discomfort is such that my wife got me as a gift recently a nice watch. I don't know anything about them. And it was, I don't know, I'm going to say it was 6 months ago. And I probably insult her by not wearing it. But I am not comfortable wearing an expensive watch. It feels too showy to me. And so when you go $750,000 on the most watched game on television, you're showing that. To me, I don't understand it. It's not even judging it, although obviously it sounds like that. There's something about me that makes me not confident enough to want to throw that in everybody's face.
Well, he's not. He's got cuffs over it. I would venture to say it's probably not even his most expensive watch.
You imagine his watch collection has tons of watches that are over $800,000.
Dan, this is why people think rich people should pay more taxes.
It's one of the many reasons.
There's so many people that go to bed hungry every night, but Tom Brady's got an $800,000 watch.
Yeah.
And so I can't say any of this, though, without appearing judgmental, but I'm really speaking to a vulnerability here where I can't come to, like, my wife has given me a gift. My wife is an extraordinarily thoughtful gift giver. She is known by everybody as a thoughtful gift giver. So what she's given me is a watch that, if you believe in the idea that these things give off your personality or speak to who you are, or you're making some sort of statement about who you are to people with what you're wearing on your wrist, this is who she imagines me to be. I do not imagine myself to be that.
Hold on. Who's making more of a statement? Tom Brady, who has the expensive watch and wears it, or Dan, who has the expensive watches and doesn't wear them, but tells us he has the expensive watches?
Because he feels bad about it.
Yeah.
That's a good question, Bill.
Yeah, one of them is a confident person, and one of them is me.
So I found this...
but both are rich.
This partnership that Tom Brady had with Sotheby's, and his watch collection's ridiculous. This is what he decided, hey, I need to do some spring cleaning. There's like 3 different watches in here that are up to $500,000.
Well, he probably doesn't even have to, like, I don't know. I would love to know what some of these deals are, because I don't know if Eugene Levy gets some sort of...
gets paid in pizza.
Some sort of pizza deal, or who was it? Oh, I wondered if Harrison Ford in the Jeep commercial. I imagine they just gave him a Jeep, right? Like he gets a couple of Jeeps out of that.
And then he
deal.
gave it to his son-in-law.
Right, something like that is probably. Wouldn't you imagine?
Wait, were you think he's going to keep one of them, Chris?
No, I just think, like, if you're Harrison Ford and you get a Jeep, you look at your family. Who needs a Jeep? Kyle needs a Jeep.
Why
So
is
you
it
text
always
him.
Kyle
You
with
text
you?
him. Hey, Kyle, I got a Jeep for you.
That was a long commercial, the Harrison Ford one. He got at least 5 Jeeps for that one.
I imagine that Tom Brady probably has a lot of very expensive watches that were free, that he didn't have to pay for at all because he's just Tom Brady. One would imagine.
Well, then, whoever his timepiece partner is, they should be upset that he doesn't have exclusivity, because this is a very deep and vast and varied watch collection that he decided to sell for auction.
People don't understand. Like, they think being nice to a rich person is going to benefit them in some way. We don't know who gave Tom Brady these watches for free. And it probably cost them a lot. They just had to eat that cost to be friends with Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't even remember their name or mention it ever. So what was the point
But
of
if
giving
they
that
gave
watch for
us
free?
one of those watches, we would remember.
Be singing from the mountaintops.
It would be great.
From that hill that I was going to die on.
There's roughly 24 watches on this Sotheby's auction.
He's
that I saw
auctioning of his.
them? Yeah, that he
I
was
don't like
auctioning.
that.
And there was at least
Give it
one.
away. Put it in a UNICEF box. You know what I mean? What does he need to auction a watch off for if you're Tom Brady? You've got enough.
There's at least one available for auction that is priced higher than the one that he was wearing for the Bobcats.
We should buy it. Dan? We'll figure out the bit later.
Yeah, that's a good idea,
We're never
Billy.
going to go back to the Super Bowl, Billy.
That is a good idea, Billy. What are the highlights? I saw that Stugotz is now in makeup. They are working hard in another room. Can the video crew get a live shot of Stugotz in the other room getting ready in an emergency? He has flown in an emergency, God bless football, to bail us out, to bail out God bless football. Let's get the video up in the other room so that we can see Stugotz. Look at it. A heroic Stugotz has arrived on a red eye from Chicago. Again, that tube could not have smelled good the day after the Super Bowl, and he is going to come in here with all fresh takes. These are not takes that are going to appear on God Bless Football. That's just Billy and Mikey.
Later for the TV.
And
also, this was not a red eye. Yeah, he went in the morning. Red eye, he would have been here on time. He was flying in from Chicago.
Yeah, but Dan famously
not Taiwan.
he lumps the Midwest in together. So really, he could have been anywhere in that. He could have been in Toronto.
You
for
know
all
what?
Dan knows.
I'm sorry. I was told by Carl that it was a red eye, and I just didn't. I didn't double check.
There isn't a flight that he's on that his eyes aren't red. All right.
He's going to come in here in just a few moments. Roy, how are you feeling physically today? Are you? Did you do Super Bowl? Yes, you, Roy. What other Roy would I be talking to?
I mean, there are plenty of Roys out there. I don't know, Dan.
What do you mean you?
I'm just surprised you went to me. That's all. That's why I said, what, me?
He said me?
Roy, what are your thoughts on Harry Connick Jr.?
He's a good performer. He turned into a good actor. Yeah,
Oh, you're with me. No, you're with me.
We don't know what, but
You're playing nice.
Yeah.
If Roy doesn't even appreciate this era of gentlemen, Dan, I mean...
I'm looking at these Brady watches. What a racket this guy has, huh? So, like, it says pre-sale estimate like $5,000 to $10,000 for this watch. Final sale price, $42,000. So everything just gets that it was on Tom Brady's wrist, maybe, at one point in time price.
I'm feeling good, by the way, Dan. Thanks for asking.
This is like that episode of Seinfeld where they're going around and it's like, this was John Voight's car, and it was another John Voight. Jabba Chamberlain used to tell us that, like, when he was on Gobble Football, Jabba Chamberlain would tell us, like, that the baseball players had, like, a racket where they'd get, like, the car, like, leased for free for, like, a year or two, and then just sign the dashboard at the end of, like, their lease. And then, and then the dealer would go off an auction, like, this was Aaron Judge's car. Look, it's autographed by him. And they'd pay way more than whatever the leasing option was that they were getting it for free.
Funny that you mentioned that, because David Sampson spent money on Bono's sunglasses, and I'm hoping that there was, like, an error in accounting, and it's actually Steve Bono's.
Or Chaz.
I realize, okay, that Roy goes long stretches without speaking. But for me to say on our program, Roy, and then a question, and for him to respond genuinely surprised with me, is one of the most amazing things I've ever heard on our show.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
I was asking you how you felt and if you ate poorly during the Super Bowl.
No, I don't believe I ate poorly. I ordered some food from Anthony's coal-fired pizza. It had some wings, some dry rub wings. That was very good. Had a couple of pizzas with Anita and Claire, and that was it. So, yeah, no drinking.
A couple of pizzas.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did Claire think?
Claire loved the pizza. She was a fan of that. She did not have an opinion about the halftime show. She was ushered to bed.
Ushered to bed.
Guys, it's that time of year. Valentine's Day is coming up, and for me, there's only one place that I trust, 1-800-Flowers.com. Every year, I order stunning, high-quality bouquets from 1-800-Flowers that my wife absolutely loves. She looks forward to them every single year. She knows it's happening, and yet she's surprised and loves them every single year. And this year, I'm partnering with 1-800-Flowers to make sure you're a Valentine's Day hero with exclusive offers just for our listeners. Double the roses for free. When you buy 1 dozen roses, they'll double your bouquet to 2 dozen roses. It's the perfect way to say I love you without breaking the bank. Trust me, 1-800-Flowers always delivers. And the roses are incredible, guys. We got the sneak peek of the roses at the Batard Show Studios, and they're incredible, all right? Long stem red roses accompanied by an hourglass red vase. Everything beautiful. They're timeless, luxurious, romantic, ready to get you going for Valentine's Day, and the office has never smelled better. Fellas, it's a must-have on this Valentine's Day. To claim your double roses offer, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Hey folks, it's Mike Ryan. It is Big Game Week, and I've got just the thing to make your big game time a Miller time. From fireside conversations to football Sundays, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. A new year is a perfect time for friends, family, and great tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers, and when you're hosting your ultimate game day party, why don't you bring out a beautiful silver platter of that amazing white can and know you will make everybody there happy, because Miller Lite is the original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Le Batard.
If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be.
Stugotz.
Standing outside with my mouth open wide. If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I can't believe how little alcohol this room drank. for the Super Bowl. I didn't drink at all. Mike didn't drink. Jess, did you drink?
No, I didn't drink. I ate a lot.
Yeah,
though.
we just all ate.
I've
Good God,
decided
we ate.
this year I'm going to do a themed Super Bowl party. Me and Lehman did a whole New Orleans theme.
Midsummer It looked Nights. Good.
I made a king cake from scratch. It's in the kitchen right now if anyone wants to try it. It was shockingly very tasty.
I'm not eating for 2 more days.
Why do you say shockingly? You generally have great successes baking. Like when or you have a lot, you lack confidence making these things.
Well, it was a yeasted dough, so I don't normally make things of that nature with my gluten-free problems because it's very hard to stretch dough without gluten. But I said, let's just roll the dice and see what happens. I used the gluten-free King Arthur flour in the recipe with the whole blog and everything, and it came out of the oven split in half. You could see the filling coming out, but once you put the frosting on, no one knew the difference.
Is your mouth watering while you talk about it?
Yes.
It sounds like it.
Would you like to try? It's gluten-free, Dan.
Yes, I would.
It's not
like
dairy-free,
Yes,
though.
oh no, can't do it then.
Oh man,
Come on, dip a little.
Yeah, have ice cream in the second quarter and eat it with a chicken wing. Dip a chicken wing in it. Can you guys explain something to me because I don't
Salty and
understand?
sweet.
Okay. I'm going to go down this path with you because you guys are telling me yes, this is what the drugs do. They
Can we
make
bring
me.
Stugotz in for this discussion?
Yes,
He'd get us.
He'll be here in a second.
Like Jesus, he gets us.
Okay, so he'll be here in a second. Stugotz will be here with all his takes, and perhaps he can explain the munchies to us as well. But when I see, for example, that Cincinnati famously has Skyline Chili, and now there is a Skyline Chili ice cream, and I don't understand that, right? Now, maybe all ice cream's good, right? There's no such thing as bad ice cream, is
To
there?
be specific, this was a pistachio gelato.
What?
Why did you say that?
Just
that way?
happened.
Why did you just say that?
Clarifying on it, it wasn't
Yeah,
ice
but-
cream. It was gelato.
Why'd you say it like that?
It was a Skyline pistachio gelato.
Just said it, all right? Let me be.
No.
But what did you just do? Were you trying to give us a pistachio?
Turn one of the Super Mario Brothers.
Were you Giada for a second?
Was that Italian you were going for
I think
there?
I was just trying to flare up my gelato.
You did it again, huh?
He's not totally confident on whether he can do this or not.
Wait, this was a Skyline thing?
At least we're not stopping down and focusing on it.
So they decided to... Skyline Chili decided to make a partnership
Yes.
with an ice cream, but call it gelato?
No, that is
All right,
no.
I'm trying to follow.
Oh, so
There is cinnamon in Skyline Chili.
Yeah.
there
and a
was
Kelsey Super Bowl ring too.
people enjoyed him losing yesterday, right?
I think that's why they were booing Taylor Swift. I think all the Eagles fans saw her and booed her.
Dude,
I don't think they were like, hey, she endorsed Kamala Harris.
The crazy thing is like Super Bowls, everyone that's ever been to one, I've never been to one, has told me it's actually not the greatest game atmosphere.
I've been to a few. It is sometimes very boring.
Well, you went to the Rams Patriots one, that was bad.
I've been to good ones too, but that one was very, very
But I
good.
thought
That
it
was
came
also
ac-
the Maroon 5 Super Bowl.
Look at me,
I think it came across on the broadcast that atmosphere at the game looked really fun. And my buddy Master was at the game, and I texted him. He's like, I'm shocked at how crazy this atmosphere was. It was decidedly pro-Eagles. Granted, by midway through the second quarter, they were the only fans making noise at that game. But I was really stunned at how many Eagles fans got their way into what is essentially a corporate event.
Oh, it's not just a corporate event. I mean, we've been on this ride here for a little bit with Diana Rossini as she's making decisions between things she wants to do because she wants to do them and for her career, and her husband, the Eagles fan, feeling like he's living through a time. I will speak to this today because it's going to get obnoxious over the next week. Philadelphia fans are annoying. They are loud. They are proud. It is a crazed and rabid fan base that prides itself on, Mark Wahlberg will be an Eagle as a walk-on in the movie because we're the town for Rocky and we're the town where athletic grit becomes representative of who our people are, who our city is. They are a source of great, great regional pride, this team. To have it be the one that wins among the spaceships with just punching you in the face, just physically dominating you, dragging Patrick Mahomes up and down the field because they were just physically overwhelming on everybody. Everybody dies at their doorstep this year, and it's a physical beating that they're taking from a defensive line and an offensive line that is just stronger than yours. The Kansas City Chiefs come in with that pedigree, and if they had not been the Kansas City Chiefs with that quarterback, we'd be calling that team an epic and historic fraud for all time this season, based on the season they had, beating Carolina over here by 3 points, and everyone, and going down and winning all these one-score games, and then when they ran into a juggernaut, oh shit, they just got dragged up and down the field by a football team that's been not playing close games.
Yeah, but I guess they did beat Buffalo, and I know that they were at home there, but I'm with you. If any other team that didn't have the success that Kansas City had attached to it entered this Super Bowl and went out that way, they'd be called a huge fraud. They'd be looked at as the Kerry Collins Giants or as the Stan Humphries Chargers.
The Rex Grossman Bears.
Yeah, where they become a punchline, but I think everyone kind of understands the greatness there. You mentioned like the physicality. There was one moment in that game where it was very telling to me, because Patrick Mahomes is Josh Allen levels when it comes to the officials and trying to get calls the entire time. When he fumbled, he very clearly got hit in the head. Both hands went to the head. That is a textbook call. I have never seen Patrick Mahomes not get up and complain about what just happened there. He didn't at all. He kind of conceded, not just the game, but also conceded, I don't think I want to be out here.
Well, let's talk about this part for a second, okay? Because this part, as we make these people superhuman or unhuman, as Tom Brady likes to call them, the size and scope of all of this, America's biggest game, and the pressure it puts on athletes, Patrick Mahomes, whatever he imagined his life would be at Texas Tech, I imagine a whole bunch of stuff has come into it, most of it wildly positive. His record in postseason games has such extraordinary success that when they weren't getting calls, they complained about it up and down in that one game, became crybabies. It was ugly. It was like an ugly lack of dignity from a champion, and we all seized on it and noticed it. In that game yesterday, there were a few calls early that helped the Eagles. Like those were bad calls, questionable calls. There was one that went against the Chiefs as well. But when Mike speaks to what he's talking about there, it's really rare for you to be watching a football game, because when you're talking about 24 yards in the first half for Patrick Mahomes, like that's an uncommon kind of strangling we're talking about.
It was 13 first downs in the first half to 1.
But it's not just ball control. It's what I'm about to say about where it is that all your knows how to win can go flying out in the most pressurized situations, because this guy comes back from 10. Except he knows that this felt early the way Tampa did, where it's like, whoa, they're getting here fast. There are 4 of them. If there are 4 of them, and now my receivers aren't Tyreek Hill anymore. Like, it's a bunch of these guys, and when I get it to DeAndre Hopkins, he's so at the end of his career that DeAndre Hopkins may never have had that drop before in his entire career. A man who has more tackles than drops because he does not drop the football. The embers of their skill position players that have been eaten up by the salary cap because you think you can do it every time with Mahomes, when he comes back into the pocket and he can't just step up into the middle of it and run through your defense. Wow, Patrick Mahomes ends up looking totally mortal and scared. I don't think he was actually scared, but wherever it is that the feet are on, wait a minute, it's 3 and out and 3 and out. Now I'm remembering all season this has been, I've got to get 6 yards on 3rd and 5. I can't do it against this team. I just threw it to Kelsey twice. What was that? What was that? I thought I had Kelsey. They know Kelsey's my only option, and they're getting here awfully fast.
I just never have seen Patrick Mahomes just kind of admit through the lack of something that I can't do this. I can't come back in this one. Even in that Tampa Super Bowl, he's still diving around and releasing a ball just this far off the ground, trying his hardest and still not giving up. And last night, I mean, I think he even went out there and threw an absolute beauty to Xavier Worthy after the fact, because it's his job, he has to. But him not complaining about that flag was just respectful of his opponent, in that, man, you guys got us today. And also just, this kind of hurts. I don't think I want to take, I think at that point he had like 4 straight negative plays and he was just over it.
It's really hard to do the analysis on a good team losing in the Super Bowl. Like, we saw them all season. We were like, this Chiefs team is flawed, and eventually it will catch up to them. But it didn't until the Super Bowl. And now it's kind of like, well, what do they really need to, like, blow the whole thing up? Like, I don't think so. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl, but they clearly were outmatched in this game in the trenches. So what do you do now? Like you've already tried to put a lot into your offensive line. I guess you need to do even more. But like at the end of the day, they still made it all the way to the Super Bowl. So, and they have Patrick Mahomes. There's not a whole lot you would trade for that.
It can't be, though. It can't be to go from, your two halves away from a three-peat, something that's never been done in the sport, to do you blow it up because that was that obvious in that game. But this is how obvious it was, and it's worth noting in terms of the differences between what the Chiefs were when they beat the Eagles and what the Eagles are now. In the space age, where they've got the biggest, strongest guys up front, do you realize that in this game that we're watching, after you guys have told me, and we understand how we came upon the premise, even Las Vegas Money said this was so. No, man, Andy Reid is smarter at this stuff, and Spags is smarter in this stuff, and the quarterback doesn't make any mistakes, and he knows how to win. These people know how to win. Yes, they do. Spags sure as shit knew how to win, stopping Saquon Barkley, because I haven't seen it all season. The problem is they have too much on offense. You stop their run game, and what happens? Jalen Hurts is playing quarterback in an entirely different sport that Patrick Mahomes is, because he gets to just sit back there and run around, and he's got these receivers that are actually good because he's got two number ones, and you saved money at quarterback there, and that's where it is that the Eagles run down the throat of the dynasty and take it over with a cement mixer, because this is not a subtle object. Like, you stop their MVP, and what? And what? They've got Goddard didn't do anything in that game. Goddard hit you for 120 in a game because they're just overwhelming.
Well, and it's strange to say in a game where you give up 40 points, but like that was not on Spags.
One of them was a pick six.
No, exactly. The field position battle was ridiculous. Patrick Mahomes was giving them the ball on like the 5-yard line. All they had to do was rush it in to score. So Spags didn't have a bad game, even though the Eagles scored 40 points.
Right. It was the Chiefs' offense.
There's also field goals left and right.
Yeah, right. And like they couldn't scheme the offense around the fact that the Eagles were getting pressure with 4 on the front the entire game.
Those two things there is no answer for. When I'm telling you, we analyze the holy hell out of this sport, but when the disparity on offensive and defensive lines is that overt that everyone eating a chicken wing after ice cream can see it, like whether you're on the munchies or not, you're just watching the sport and you're like, oh, I know what Kansas City is. I know their mythology. Oh, it's 24-0. They're not going to do anything in the second half. Like there are no adjustments to this. They could talk about it at halftime, but there are no adjustments to Fangio's sitting up there. He could be eating those Eugene Levy puffs. He didn't have to do anything. He didn't call a blitz all game.
Guys, it's that time of year. Valentine's Day is coming up, and for me, there's only one place that I trust, 1-800-Flowers.com. Every year, I order stunning, high-quality bouquets from 1-800-Flowers that my wife absolutely loves. She looks forward to them every single year. She knows it's happening, and yet she's surprised and loves them every single year. And this year, I'm partnering with 1-800-Flowers to make sure you're a Valentine's Day hero with exclusive offers just for our listeners. Double the roses for free. When you buy 1 dozen roses, they'll double your bouquet to 2 dozen roses. It's the perfect way to say I love you without breaking the bank. Trust me, 1-800-Flowers always delivers. And the roses are incredible, guys. We got the sneak peek of the roses at the Batard Show Studios, and they're incredible, all right? Long stem red roses accompanied by an hourglass red vase. Everything beautiful. They're timeless, luxurious, romantic, ready to get you going for Valentine's Day, and the office has never smelled better. Fellas, it's a must-have on this Valentine's Day. To claim your double roses offer, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
All right, I know I got to do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Batard Studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, "Ah." It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat, perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics Lip Gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at NYXCosmetics.com or a retailer near you.